Hi, warriors. This is Jaylyn, my legal warrior. And today's segment is going to be about those stimulus checks and how it affects your child support arrears. So, word on the street is that the child support arrears, if you are in fact in arrears, meaning that there's back pay or you owe child support for the past and they're currently owed today, and the county of San Diego has reported that to the IRS, then you're not receiving your stimulus check. The $1,200 one-time tax rebate, you're not going to receive it. So I believe this is the only exception as to how you are prevented from receiving the stimulus check from the IRS. There might be additional information, out there regarding the receipt of those funds, but in terms of child support arrears, if the state of if the state of California has reported to the IRS that you owe back pay of child support, then you are not going to be receiving that stimulus check, even if you were to qualify for it. So if you saw my videos in the past, I had stated or provided at least one solution for individuals to prevent being in arrears, and prevent being in further arrears, and having that communication with the other party about what is it that we are going to do, and you acknowledge that yes, you owe the child support, but listen, I don't have a job, my hours are cut, we need to figure this out, and here's one solution. So it's very important to have that conversation because the courthouses are still closed as of today. Today is Saturday, March 28th, 2020, and actually the courts would have been closed on a Saturday anyways, but you wouldn't be able to file anything on Monday, March 30th, because the court will still be closed then up and through April 3rd on our supposed to be open on April 6th. Who knows if that's really the case. So let's say you were married to your spouse in 2018 and you've been divorced since 2019, and you guys have been filing separately. Well, that's different. Then there's going to go back to your your last filed tax returns. That's what's going to matter and count the most. But if you didn't file your taxes for 2019 and you've been divorced in 2019, and the IRS currently only has your 2018 taxes that you filed with your ex, then the IRS is going to give you your portion of your money. The $1,200 that should come rightfully to you is going to go to the bank account that is listed on your last filed tax returns. And that might pose a lot of different issues here, because maybe those individuals do not have the same bank account anymore. They closed it as part of their divorce, or maybe it's open and it is in only one of the spouse's name, and maybe the other spouse will be vindictive in some way and not give you the $1,200 stimulus check. And that just causes, of course, more issues and more litigation. And is it really worth it in the end? Probably not, but it depends really on your financial circumstance and whether that is a point to bring up once all of this coronavirus is handled and the curve is flattened. So that's one thing to consider. So if you wanted to file for your 2019 taxes right now so that the other party doesn't intercept the $1,200, then you should go for it. If you had children, or if you do have children and they are 17 years of age, then the court will give each child $500. But what if in 2018, again, you filed together with your children, and in 2019 only one of you has primary custody of the child, and so the IRS is just going to look at your last filed tax return. So if one of you filed for taxes in 2019 and the other party did not, and their last filed tax returns was 2018, that's going to be a puzzling question, and there's no answer to that as to how the IRS is actually going to handle that specific scenario, because perhaps one of the spouses didn't make or earn any income for 2019 in order for them to file. And so they only have the joint tax return from 2018, but their spouse filed in 2019, and they're also not the custodial parent. They're not the parent that has the children primarily. So that would be an issue, and that's something that you would, I guess you'd have to wait and see what the court is going to do at that point in time, because you and your spouse are filing taxes in different time periods. And if you're no longer with your spouse, then again, that creates a future conflict. So if in 2018 you guys just decided to file taxes jointly because you knew that in 2019 you would not be doing that, and you both listed of course your children on your tax return, but really one parent was the primary caretaker of the children at that point, well, the right thing to do is to give the $500 to that primary parent, but most likely than not, parents are probably going to split that $500 between the two parents. So there is actually a stimulus calculator online, and I just wanted to have us look at it because maybe this is something that might be beneficial to you to play around with. And it tells you right here, I got this from Forbes.com, which I believe is a reputable website. And it says, have you filed your taxes in 2019? So yes. Okay, were you single? Great. Is your income $75,000? Did you have any kids? Let's just put one for the sake of it. And then it's going to calculate it, and it says, okay, you're likely to receive the $1,700. So it's the $1,200 plus the $1,200 or $500 for your kid. Let's say you didn't file taxes in 2019. So what was your tax filing status in 2018? Well, I was married, and this is how much we both earned. So if you both earned $125,000 and you two have 2 kids, then that is how much you would be receiving. If you had 0 kids, then you each would be receiving $1,200. Same goes for if you were a head of household and that was your income, then you'd only receive $575 apparently. If you received $76,000 and you were a head of household, you would receive $1,200. So there is a formula for this. This is not absolutely accurate, but it's something that you can play around with and maybe figure out what kind of funds you would receive in the mail, hopefully. And like I said, this is not going to be like a tax rebate, so it's going to be based off of your last filed tax returns, which doesn't mean that you are going to get a credit on your taxes in the future. Just they're going to give it to you as a tax rebate on your previously filed taxes. Well, we hope that you found this video to be helpful, and please share it with your friends, family, and colleagues, because you just never know who is in need of this sort of information, just to get a little bit of an understanding of what's going on. And if somebody's in child support arrears and they're not aware of this, then they could at least know and save them their time calling the IRS asking, why didn't they receive their $1,200 stimulus check while they're in child support arrears. All right, well, good day, warriors, and be well and be safe, and until next time.